Welcome to the Monmouth Junction Fire Department's training video series. In today's video, we're going to review some of the specs and equipment carried on Engine 204, which is a 2017 Pierce Velocity. Engine 208 has an 8-man cab and 7 pack-equipped jump seats. There's a portable radio for each seat with flashlights for each jump seat. There's a laptop computer next to the officer's seat that contains our mapping system and pre-plans for all the occupancies in town. There's also a Bullard thermal imaging camera next to the officer as well. The rear cab has a FLIR thermal imaging camera. In the top compartment, there's a multi-gas meter, carbon monoxide meter, and AC electric hot stick. The first compartment on 204 on the driver's side, within the cab, has some small hand tools. There's a set of heavy irons consisting of a sledgehammer and halogen bar. There's a brush fire rake, as well as a large diameter hose tool that we can use to move 5-inch hose once the hose line has been charged. 204 has a 1750 GPM Hale pump, as well as a Husky 12 foam system. The truck has a 1,000-gallon booster tank and a 50-gallon Class B foam tank that has AR AFFF foam. The hose lines on 204, the pre-connected cross lays, we have two 200-foot 1.75-inch hose lines with a low-pressure fog nozzle. All of the hose lines in the truck are color-coded with the hose line as well as the nozzle color-coded to the discharges on our pump. Up on top of the pump house, there's a Task Force Tips Extend-A-Gun pre-pipe deck gun that has stacked tips on it. There's also a fog nozzle mounted next to the deck gun itself. Coming down to the front of the pump house on the driver's side, there's a 50-foot pony length of 5-inch hose. There's also a length of pony line on the officer's side of the truck as well. Coming around to the first compartment on the body of the truck on the driver's side. Up top we have the circuit breaker panel for the 10 kilowatt hydraulic generator that 204 is equipped with. We also have various adapters for different size hose lines or different types of threads that we may encounter or utilize on a fire scene. There's also additional nozzles as well as a flashlight in the top shelf, along with a wrench and spanner wrenches for the booster line. The middle tray slides out, containing a couple of tool bags, an extra hydrant wrench, a rubber mallet, some various rags, as well as extendable traffic cones. On the bottom shelf, we have two 3-inch pony lines, a hose roller, some flares, as well as a hydrant wrench that we utilize for hydrants located along Cranberry Township. Moving down to our middle compartment above the wheel well on the driver's side, we have an air pack for the driver, or just a spare air pack for a person that may arrive on scene. We have a swing-out tool board, which has a pickhead axe and a set of bolt cutters on the front. And then when you open the tool board on the back side, there's a duckbill lock breaker. On the back wall of the compartment, there's a 3-foot closet hook, as well as the foam pickup tube in order to fill the onboard foam tank or to draft foam out of a hose pail. Also on the driver's side of the truck, there's a compartment that contains 3 spare 1-hour air cylinders. As we move down to the rear compartment on the driver's side of our truck, up top we have a first aid kit as well as an AED. There's also a bag containing PET oxygen masks. We also have on the top shelf a stuffed animal that we can give to a child that we might encounter on an emergency scene, as well as a backpack that has various items if we encounter a special needs individual in town. Coming down to the second shelf, there is the base for the deck gun that we can remove that's above the pump house, as well as a box of diesel exhaust fluid for the apparatus. On the top rollout shelf, there is a 100-foot bundle of 1.75-inch hose. It is equipped with a smoothbore nozzle It has a couple of spanner wrenches as well as a gated Y. There's also a tool bag that contains equipment for high-rise operations, including extra spanner wrenches, an inline gauge, as well as a 30-degree elbow. Coming down to our bottom rollout shelf, we have three 50-foot, 2.5-inch hose bundles that we use for standpipe operations. These are packed in the Denver hose pack configuration. Two of them are just regular bundles of hose, and then the top bundle has a smooth bore nozzle. As we step around to the rear of our apparatus, up on top of the truck is our hose bed that has a curtain style roll-up cover. As we release it and it folds up, you can see our hose bed. On the left-hand side is our engine 3/4 pre-connect, which is 250 feet of hose with a fog nozzle on top of 150 feet of engine 3/4 hose that's a dead load. The middle bed has 1,000 feet of supply and attack grade large diameter 5-inch hose. The white hose line on the rear is a 250-foot pre-connect of 3-inch hose, which contains a Blitzfire portable monitor pre-connector, and it too is on top of 150-foot dead 3-inch hose. And then the last bed of hose on the rear is also a 250-foot bed. This is 2.5-inch hose with a smooth bore nozzle, also on top of 150-foot dead load of hose. Just below our hose bed, we have a small compartment that contains 3 pike poles, 6 foot, 8 foot, and 10 foot in length. Just above our rear step is a slide-out tray. It contains the hydrant assist valve, the hydrant bag with our 2.5-inch gate valve, spanner wrenches, as well as a hydrant wrench and a mallet, as well as double females of 1.5 and 2.5 inches, some hose straps. There are spanner wrenches on either side of the compartment walls, and in the back, in the top of the compartment, is a electric cord reel that runs off the generator with a junction box. As we move around to the officer side of 204, the rearmost compartment on the top shelf, there's a bucket of chain that we can utilize to tow or secure an object. There are a couple of yellow floor runners and then a portable quartz light. The middle shelf contains 3 buckets of Speedy Dry, along with an extra extension cord. And then on the bottom shelf is a rollout tray. It contains a high velocity fan, a portable battery powered blowhard fan that is always plugged in the truck to keep the battery on the fan charged, as well as a larger portable cord reel. On the left door of our compartment are various electrical adapters that we may need, whether it's running equipment off of the truck or in the house or a commercial building, as well as a small shale bar that we can use to pry different objects. Moving into the compartment above the wheel well, we have a Little Giant portable ladder, as well as 2 salvage covers on either side. Below that compartment, we have another small compartment that contains 3 1-hour SCBA cylinders. Coming around to the front compartment in the body of the truck on the officer side, top shelf, there's a 200-foot length of search rope, as well as a steel chainsaw. On our middle shelf, we have a Hurst hydraulic combination tool. And then looking to the bottom, we have a rollout tray that contains a Honda portable generator light, a corded Sawzall, and then in the left Husky tool bag is our forcible entry bag. It contains a rabbit tool, elevator keys, and some other miscellaneous equipment. This compartment also has a tray or shelves that contain a water can, as well as a dry chemical extinguisher, and on the bottom are extra chainsaw parts that we might need to fix or service the steel chainsaw. Coming around to the pump house on the officer side at the very top, there's a 1-inch booster line, 200 foot of 1-inch hose with a fog nozzle. You can also see again our 2 3/4 inch pre-connects that are nice and low, that are easy to deploy for our firefighters. And then, as I mentioned, on the other side as well, we have a 5-inch pony line 50 foot for supply. The cab compartment on the officer side of the truck has a 6-foot steel New York roof hook, a traditional set of irons consisting of the Howling bar and flathead axe, and it also has a 3-foot hook or officer's tool. On the bottom of that compartment, we have 5 wildland jackets for brush fires or extrication calls, for instance where firefighters don't need their heavier turnout coat. As we walk around to the front bumper of 204, we have a bed of soft suction hose to establish a water supply, 5-inch hose. It's a 15-foot length, and it has the source adapter on it, which can also be removed to go directly to the 4.5-inch connection on a hydrant, the steamer connection. This tray also contains a couple of wood blocks that we use as chocks for vehicle fires. In the middle of the front bumper, we have our trash line. It is 2.5-inch pipe with a gated Y on it, so we could add an additional length of hose if we had to. But the trash line contains 150 feet of 1 3/4 pre-connected with a fog nozzle. And then also on the front bumper is a hydrant wrench. Thank you for watching this training video where we review some of the specifications and the equipment that we carry on Engine 204. In future video series, we'll look at some of the other apparatus that are in our fleet. Thank you for watching.